to Move It seminars, day 2. It's lovely to see so many people here so early. My name is Silke. I'm co-hosting these seminar sessions together with John, who's over there. And just a few things to be aware of. The room might shake a bit as you might realise. We always leave an open door kind of policy with these sessions, so some people might come in as they wish, so don't disturb the vent.
I want to leave it. I've got a problem with the students, so we
That's
need to
fine. Yeah, we don't want to have problems. So yeah, absolutely fine. So feel free to do that. It's a very informal setup in one of the quietest rooms in the building. It's nice to see some people coming back. I'm really pleased that there's a few, I think, people from different angles. There's, I think, a few teachers and parents here, and a few young people too, so that's great. This is a super important topic for me personally, so I'm very pleased that this has been picked up by Move It, that we're looking at self-care, and I guess they call it emotional well-being these days rather than mental health, but it's a very broad spectrum and it has become more and more important in this time and age, and digital media has added onto it, but luckily I think we're also entering a time when there's more awareness around it, and people are coming forward with challenges that they might have. The dance sector, as a lot of you might know already, is a very kind of pressured environment, and it comes with a lot of challenges. And I'm very pleased that we have got a beautiful panel of people coming from very different perspectives and in very different stages in their career. So without further ado, I'll open up and let everyone introduce themselves, and we're going to start with Josh and work our way down.
Hi, I'm Josh Armstrong. I am the Executive Director and Founder of King Alfred Theatre Arts, which is on stand 5 and 4. If you can't understand me, I am from Yorkshire. It's a bit strong. I studied at Capel College, who are also here. And now I'm at the University of Winchester studying theatre production in my second year. I've had quite a lot of experience with both dealing with personally mental health issues, as well as dealing with people in my company who have mental health issues at a staff level and at a participant level, so it works across all the levels that I've worked with.
My name's Dex O'Callaghan. I'm the co-owner and founder of Base Studios. I started in the industry really young. I went to Sylviana's Theatre School at 7, 8 years old. Started working straight away. And then I left about 16 after sort of many commercials, a couple of West End shows. I wanted to do more, and already felt a bit old actually while the team started getting around so long. Went into music, had a couple of record deals, a few number ones in Europe. After 8 years of touring, I came back and started to do choreography behind the scenes, and I worked with pop stars who probably known as JLS back then. And I do production and choreography now for most of the theatre in cruise ships, so Celebrity Cruises, Viking Cruises, Morella, creating maybe 20-25 productions for them. So most of the time it's actually not just choreographing cast, but we actually have to look after them. They're going away for 6 months each contract, and a lot of times actually spent working with them personally and their characters, and finding out their characters, and with strange enough sort of their mental health and where they are before we let them go, and actually the aftercare of dealing with them while they're away.
Hi, I'm Anna Claire. I run Anna Claire Photography and Anna Claire Management, which is a talent to keep young people, and photography, which is headshots, dance photography. I started it up about a year ago, so it's a bit crazy that I'm here. I am actually old enough to be here. I know I have a baby though. I'm 20. But yeah, I started it up when I was at uni. I really was enjoying myself. I was having a lot of issues with my mental health because I was being very forced into an academic structure that didn't work for me, and I found through dance and photography that I just got my life back. It was just such a saviour for me, and now I work with lots and lots of young people, which is amazing. I know so many kids who have the same sort of issues I had at school age, and this industry is so pressured, and it's amazing to get to work with people one-on-one, particularly with management and stuff, and looking after more people.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Sarah Gittins and I run the Dance Den. I am a business coach for dance school owners. So I help them run a better business, I help them grow, I help them with mindset, whatever it is that they realistically need. Now during that process, I retrained a couple of years ago, but I had a nervous breakdown 5 years ago and got to a very, very dark point in my me over, and I'm lucky to get out the other side, quite frankly. So 5 years on, I'm a much stronger, much better, much happier person for it. I am absolutely thrilled and honoured that this is here. I think this is so crucial and so important. I thank you for being here as well. Yeah, I thank you all for being here as well, because I think it also takes courage to acknowledge that this is a wider issue, and the fact that you're all here and willing to listen and take on board our experiences and our suggestions and our thoughts means that you're also on board with all of this as well. So thank you for you all coming as well.
Hi, so we've got a bit of a visual aid, hope you don't mind. We're not going to take too long. So we're the Fuller U, and as you can probably see, we're sisters. So I'm Kirsty Fuller, and this is my sister Gemma.
Just to introduce a little bit about ourselves, I have worked.
There we go.
I've worked in theatre for the last 10 years. I have done shows like Just Bang Bang, White Christmas, Dirty Dancing, Singing in a Rain, Charlie Chocolate Factory Gig. I have just I've been doing a lot of dance captain, swing. Most recently, I have been resident choreographer for Matilda. 2 years on that, working with children and of course adults as well. Worked with quite a few celebrities along the way as well. And actually, I think it doesn't matter what your age you are, your mindset is very important at every point along the way. But that's a little bit about what I've done.
And I'm Kirsty, and I went down a different route. I actually went to university and I studied a degree in exercise, health and nutrition, and then I did a master's in paediatrics, so children's exercise and health. And then I realised I wanted to be performing, so I got back into performing, and then I worked on cruise ships, and then I got an agent, and recently was in the West End show at 42nd Street. I trained in New York with the Radio City Rockettes. So yeah, that's us. And so we set up the Fuller U because we saw the value in having the support network of us as sisters, but we also realised that we were achieving our dreams, but our happiness it didn't really match up, and we didn't have the work-life balance, and it affected our mind, health, and our well-being. So we wanted to identify what it is that we needed, and then we found out what the work-life balance we wanted as individuals, and then we put a strategy together to kind of put that into place and to put that into action. So we came up with a model that we used.
So we put a little equation together because we were looking for the fuller life, which is a more richer life, a happier life. And the first part we realised was actually started with you, with us, and everybody is different, so you is an individual to you. But that we decided that actually there were 3 parts of it for us. The first part was about our needs. That's basic, your basic needs, that's sleep. Because if you're checking Instagram all night, you're not going to get a good night's sleep, your mind health isn't going to be in a great place in class. It's about your nutrition, what you put into your body. It's about environment, are you around the right people and supportive people. So that's kind of big, that's the needs part of it. We go in much more detail, but just to give you a snapshot. Then we decided that we needed to focus, we needed a clear vision of where we're going and what we wanted to achieve. So, do I want to be in the West End? What show do I want to be? Okay, if I want to be on this show, what do I need to do? I need to make sure that I've got these kind of songs in my repertoire. I've got to make sure that I can pick up routines. What kind of person do I want to be when I come in the room? All of those, we had to have a clear vision. Thank you. We had a clear vision, and then we put in strategies. So it's goal setting, what do we want, and how we're going to get it. So that was our wants. And then we realised that we also had to have a very clear mindset, because we talk about this in more detail again, but one thing that we operate with is a growth mindset. So for example, today, I could be up here with a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. My growth mindset is to say, what is the opportunity to learn? So actually, my opportunity to learn right now is to learn from all these incredible people. It's also to learn how to public speak. How can I get better in that? If I was choosing a fixed mindset, I might be up here going, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, everybody else is better than me. It's the same, I'm in the same situation, but my mindset and how I approach it is very different. So we realised that was really important. So there's more tools that we use, but mindset's important. So that was the you part of it. And then we decided that actually that wasn't enough for us, because just looking after ourselves wasn't the richest kind of way of living. So we decided that actually giving back to others was really important. Also, I think, that might be friends, it might be family, it might be your support network, your peers. It also might be giving back to the planet, looking after the planet, putting rubbish away, recycling, that kind of stuff as well. And that's what gave us a richer life. But the oxygen mask analogy of in an airport, they say put your oxygen mask on before helping other people. So we decided that actually it's really important to look after you so you can help other people. There is an argument to say that actually sometimes when you're really stuck on the you, that you can start with other people and give back first, and then it gives you a bit of energy to go back to you. But we think it's really important to look after yourself so that the tank is full. The only thing with this is that it's constant as well. I know, for me in my career, it's always constantly changing all the time. Every show is different, is a different ball game. Life changes all the time. So this is like a constant process that we do together to make sure that we're kind of balanced, because things come all the time. So there's never a sweet spot, oh, I'm there, now I'm done. It's like you're always constantly refining, and this is what's given us a happier life.
So we have various different things that we offer. So we go and deliver talks into dance schools, colleges, or exhibitions a bit like this, and dance studios, and it gives us an opportunity to go into the model a little bit further. So and specifically for the individuals or the performers or even the teachers that want to know more on how they can best support their students. We also have one-to-one mentoring, so that's in person or over Skype. And this again is we can go into the model with the individual and say what is it that you need, what do you want, and how are you processing the whole journey of you as a performer. And we also have group mentoring, which is a weekly affordable class. So it gives the performer, the individual, an opportunity to identify for themselves, but also have accountability with other peers, but have their own kind of process of learning. So they're doing it themselves, but in a safe environment, in a structured way, with us to support them and their peers. So they can facilitate their own learning. So that's us really, that's all of it. So you can follow us on social media, as I'm sure you've been doing a lot of this, so the Fully You in Theatre, or you can just email us if you want to know any more information on gemma@thefullyu.com. So thank you.
Thank you to all the panellists for the introduction. So I think I quite like to kind of backtrack a bit in terms of journeys and experiences, personal experiences. A lot of you have mentioned that you had personal experiences with emotional well-being and self-care, and maybe you can. There's a lot of talk around early prevention and seeing the indicators at a very early stage, and I quite like to hear from all of you about what these indicators were for you. Probably how much you tried to ignore them and why, and how you overcame those.
Heading towards me. Right, huge question. For me, the early indicators, well, I ignore the early indicators, let's face it.
Why?
Courage, lack of courage. If I'm honest, which I am, I'm always honest about it. It's at the time, my school wasn't working for me. It was successful, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't happy. I wasn't enjoying it. I felt completely under pressure, and it was one little straw that broke the camel's back for me, and then I was completely gone. Yet before that, for 2.5 years, I knew I was unhappy. For 2.5 years, I decided to ignore the warning signs because I was scared to make the change. Change is difficult. We are, as human beings, we are people of habit. And to suddenly break that habit, and also for me to break my sole income, was like, whoa, dance is all I know. Dance is everything I've ever done in all my life. I'm passionate about teaching. I love teaching. And there's nothing better. But when I couldn't do it, what do I do then? Where do I go? Where do I turn? And I just ignored it. Absolutely ignored it until that straw came. And then, I was screwed. Then it was, I couldn't get out of bed for 2 days. Then for me, I knew where, how I was going to commit suicide, and that's how low it took me. But to get back from that has been quite some journey, but now I look back at that and I'm thinking, it was all there. Why didn't I just go, you know you're unhappy, you know things are going wrong, you know things aren't just sitting right, why not make the change to make a difference? And it takes courage, guys. And I would honestly say to all of you that look deep inside you, look out at what you want, take some time out, go by a beach, go and enjoy, just go into what if money and time were not an option, because let's face it, those are the two big factors. Money and time were not an option, what would you do? And if you're not doing it, I would honestly ask you to question yourself and have the courage to take steps to change so that you get what you want. You only have one life, guys. Go. That's all. Thank you.
Well, I actually was quite aware of my symptoms from early on. When I was in high school, so about 15, I started having panic attacks. I would have these horrible meltdowns at exams. In my GCSE English, I so badly wanted to get an A star. I started crying and shaking, and I couldn't finish the paper. And when I got an A afterwards, I was so upset I retook the paper because I really wanted that A star. I was that kid. I was the very academic kid. But I also loved performing, but I didn't see it going anywhere because I thought all I'd been taught was you're a performer or you're an academic. There was no room for, I've never heard about photographers, dance photographers. That wasn't on my radar. So I went to uni to do English, even though I was still very panicky and I wasn't thrilled about it, but I thought this is what you do next. You go to sixth form and then you go to uni or you go to college and you do something. I didn't want to take a gap year because I thought, just putting it off. So I went to uni and I was thoroughly miserable and I was too embarrassed to admit it to anyone because I thought, everybody kept saying to me, this is the experience of your lifetime. Uni is the experience of a lifetime. And it wasn't for me. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. And in the end, when I did go to the doctors, I got some very unhelpful feedback because obviously they're all really, not a lot of money in the NHS right now. So in the end, I ended up in a really dark point and I was in hospital. And when I came out, I texted my dance teacher and said, is there anything I can do to help out? And she said, why don't you pick up the camera and come to a competition with us? And I said, photography, I haven't done that in ages, And funnily enough, that competition hired me, and that's how I got my first job. And that's when I realised that's what I want to do. It's been a year, and it's ridiculous. I think everyone can say the growth is absolutely insane. I mean, the fact that I now have a stand here, I've just turned 20. The fact that I'm even able to afford to be here is amazing in itself. And now I love the fact that I can spread the message on to other young people, because definitely for me, I would always want to make people aware, don't just live with it because that's what people say. People say, this is the experience, this is what you should be feeling. If that's not what you're feeling, if you're not enjoying it, if you're not loving it, then you're doing the wrong thing. It's got to be about you. It's got to be, because in the end, literally nothing else matters. Vocational training, whatever. Take a gap year. Gap years are great.
I think the key thing that you said there, as soon as you spoke to someone and they offered you the photography opportunity, then things changed. I think it's such a subject that's still taboo, it's not spoken about at all, especially in dance. And any problem with depression is, as you said about making the change, it's actually about admitting something's wrong. And being wrong is bad. That's how we're brought up. We do it with kids. Like if they're climbing a tree, it's like get down, get out. So it's always no, no, no. And I think they're brought up, especially in this industry, making mistakes is wrong. Going wrong is bad. Rather than if we're creatives, we have to have that transparency and that open heart. And I think that's closed. A lot of the time, the cast we work with that have issues, we're actually undoing a lot, like the set of what the colleges have taught. Even here at Move It, there's such a pressure on these performances. If they don't get in the piece, there's a bit of a breakdown. And you know in the industry that even though this is a fantastic opportunity and this whole foundation, this event was brought to celebrate dance and to bring people together. Move It haven't done it. The colleges have not only created a competition effect out there, where they're all cheering for themselves alone, but within the college as well. And it's a very unhealthy environment. You know, no one's paid to be here. This isn't a professional credit you can put on. It will mean nothing.
once you're out there, it's a nice experience and to bring your college together and to do something. So I think the fact that you guys are in the colleges is huge, and I think you should be thankful that you have a course as well. You said you start with you, and I think that is it. I think success or victory doesn't come over the hill like a big bright light with resounding trumpets and angels. I think sometimes victory's going to bed one night, the small voice just saying you're still here, and you can do it again tomorrow. And I think if the colleges spent 50% of their training on these kids' minds rather than physical, they will come out completely different people. No one's opinion of you has to be your reality, and that's what these kids need to be taught. They already have the answers. It's the same on the choreographing stuff. If you give these young people some responsibility within the performance, you're so surprised on what you get back. That they do know it's about trust, and you can't ask them to be vulnerable. It's such a vulnerable subject, and you're about to go into a career full of rejection as well. Another thing they have is their happiness is connected to their career. As soon as I get there, I'll be all right. As soon as I reach here, I'll feel fine. We dare them. I've worked with every major college within the country, and a lot of it's talking to them. Everybody stands up here, and this is slightly different, but mostly like me, because I'm in a routine, we give the showreel version of our careers immediately, and I know from a kid what the pressure feels like. And I think if we could just get to them and speak to them and say it's okay, and we dare them to spend 20, 30 minutes, half hour of your day, some classical music, just spend it with yourself. Just spend it with yourself. This generation, we all are actually, we're all still living here, this era is bombarded with images. We're available 24 hours a day. The stress on a young person now, I can contact you, I can connect to you, I can see what everyone else is doing, I can see the filtered version of how everything's great for everybody else, non-stop. There's no off switch for anybody anymore, and you need that peace. It's your quality time, and that's when you find out exactly what everybody's touched on here, is you are the only one to know. Unfortunately, even the formula you've got is actually to spend time with yourself and figure out, am I happy? Because they do know. And I don't think time spent asking them the questions of how do you feel, what do you want to do. There is a business side to this. We do know this with this industry, and I know the colleges are taught to pass on, go for everything, go for absolutely everything. But it isn't that. It's training everything, because you want you want your craft to be rounded. But it's what you said earlier. Figure out what the hell you want to do. If you want to do this, why would you go there? And if you don't have an agenda, or these kids don't find out, which they already know within them what they want to do, and they don't wake up with an agenda, they'll be bouncing like a ping pong ball. They'll be going here because it looks good on social media, maybe teach at this studio for a bit. You have to be clever because you're copying someone else's dream then, and you'll be living someone else's life. And as soon as it's hard, you'll give up. We don't train them to live in the void, and that's what we do at the colleges and the cars. It's train them to have a vision and live in the void, like live in the future. It's the same as if you go to the gym. If you I want a better body, and I go off my own self-esteem each day, when you're tired you won't go. And it's the same as this career. But if you have an image of what you want to be, and you can see yourself, which only you can, you know why you start this industry, or all these kids do, and you see yourself, it will pull you continuously rather than pushing. And then you have to be strong enough to stay with this, but we have to encourage them as well. But I think, we say even downstairs right now, these kids got such a huge pressure on them, and they've created a competition effect already, which some people is actually founded on celebration. So I think it's great that you're actually in these colleges speaking to these young people, and I think admitting stuff and saying I need to change or admit stuff's wrong is the vulnerable part that I think should be celebrated and encouraged, and platforms like this are a huge difference already. So I think it's great.
So I started very young training in dance at a very small dance school in Castleford, West Yorkshire. I started when I was 6 and carried on until I was 16 before I went to college. Through secondary school and through primary school, I got a lot of stuff thrown at me, because it's still during that generation where people were learning it's okay to have male dancers. They were still finding that okay zone. So I was receiving a lot of bullying, but during primary and secondary, I didn't really know where to go. I had my head of year at secondary, and that was about it. That made my thought too well. But then after secondary, I went to college, and I have to commend my college, because they were very much look after yourself. It was very intensive days, so we were in from early hours to late evening, But they always said put yourself first, which was amazing, and I have to thank my college for that. When I got to university, I thought, okay, so I've gone from doing a lot at college, and now we don't do as many shows per year at my university. I'm part of my Performing Arts Society, which I'm on the committee for now, 180 members. So 180 members all have their own individual experience at university, and each one of those members will always come to us with some form of complaint or something that's gone wrong. But we've always got to be there to listen. And that's one thing that sometimes some people don't recognise, is that people are there to talk to, they're not always judgmental. Some people maybe, but not all of us. In my first year of university, I became severely depressed. In my first month, actually, I set up this company also within the first month at university. I'm also 20. Hey. I had student services at the university help me out. I had to have a lot of meetings. I went to the doctors and they just recommended, here's some tablets, go to CBT, and that's all you're going to get. It's not always the medical way forward that's going to guarantee you to develop yourself. You've got to sit down and look at yourself first. So what I did is, after my first couple of doctor's appointments, they weren't helping. So what I did is I sat down, well, I completely cleaned my room because it was a pigsty, student life. Completely cleaned my room out, cleared everything, cleared my calendar, and then I looked at the next 5 years of my life and set goals for every single year. So every 6 months, I re-look at that, and then re-look at my goals for the next 5 years. So I've got my career progression, my company progression, and my university degree progression. So I do intend to go into a master's afterwards. But I've always had it's like you say, it's courage to gain the support. It's going out and speaking to someone saying, I need this support now. It took me a very long time to realise I need to go out and get help now. It eventually took my girlfriend to go, Josh, you need help now, go. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I might as well, see what happens. But the university's always been amazing to me. They've got my email, they constantly email me saying, you okay today? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But it's finding inside that you know something's wrong. It's like you say, finding that looking after yourself is a priority. That's something I didn't do, but I always kept myself busy. That was something I always did. I sort of kept myself busy to not have to think about myself. So I sort of used my company as a distraction and kept myself working all the time. Didn't have breaks, wasn't eating properly, and then I always got told off for not drinking water all the time, and then I got told off for going out too much. And then I realised that, okay, actually I might need to start taking it seriously now. And yeah, eventually got there. I'm happier now. I'm the same as you, I'm surprised I didn't move it. Somehow I managed to support in it and managed to get my company here. Got a couple of showcase pieces, so I'm quite happy this time. But yeah, it's knowing that you're going to get to your goal and putting steps in to get to your goals. If you don't set goals, what are you achieving? Where are you going to get? Because you don't know where you're going. You've got to set yourself that pathway to get there in 6 months, 1 year, 1 year and a half, 2, and keep building until you go, right, I am happy. It's saying, well, that's for saying no, you've got to be able to think, okay, I'm happy now. You don't have to take everything on. That's something I did wrong at my Freshers Week, is I took everything on. I went to every society going, I want to do this. There was a pudding society, and I was like, yes, I'm off there. It's a pudding society. You get free pudding. You can't call free pudding. But it's realising maybe you can't stretch yourself that thin. So I realised when I needed to stop and things like that. Yeah.
I'm still thinking about the pudding society. I was going to ask, actually, because you said it yourself, you know, achieving goal setting really important, you know, sort of like taking positive steps forwards really important. But in sort of, I think you know, we've all sort of realised, we all know really, every day. I mean, this work-life balance is not something you find and then you've got it. It's the balance in general. It's not something you find and you've got it. It's every day you've got to find the balance. That's the balance. I was just wondering if any of you could sort of shed some light on how you go about doing that, because it's a hard thing to do, and also it's not just sort of